Hi everyone, I'm Harry. I'm at Regatta Base Camp. I'm lucky enough to have Matt, product manager, with me today.
Hello.
So we're here to talk about the Autumn Winter 20 heated jackets, which obviously in last year, the heated jacket that we had in sold really well. So we're here to talk through each one, and I'm literally going to pick Matt's brain so we can get as much information out of him as possible. So the first one we're starting with is the one that was in last year, wasn't it, Matt?
Yeah, this is an update to the previous one. This is the top-end heated jacket. This is the Volta Shield. It's a jacket that does everything. So first of all, it's a really nice jacket in its own right. It's got really subtle marl face fabric, grown on hood with adjusters, Isotex 10,000, waterproof, breathable, tape seams, and it's got the inner ribbed cuff as well. So beautiful jacket, but it doubles up as a heated jacket as well. So this top end jacket has 3 heat panels in.
So that's 3 in total?
3 in total, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's got one centre back and then a slightly smaller one at the front, either side of the chest, here and here.
And just a quick question, why have we put the heated panels in those certain places that where we're going to get the most heat out of them?
Exactly, that's where it'll warm your core up the most effectively and efficiently.
Yeah.
And make you really feel the benefit of having a heated product on.
Yeah.
So additional to the 3 panels, we've also got 3 heat settings as well, and that's controlled by the button here, which has got the nice R logo built into it. So to power it up, you just plug in your battery pack. It's a USB power bank.
Which we'll go into more depth later on about the battery pack, won't we? For now, we're just going to show you the jacket actually working and how it works.
So once you plugged it in, you make sure it's turned on by having a look at the lights down the side of the battery pack, so you can see.
It's worth knowing this battery pack is the one that we actually sell, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the one we recommend. This is the one we have online.
Yeah.
So to turn it on, you just hold the button down for a few seconds and you can see it glows red. That comes on at the top heat setting.
So that's the red means the hottest heat setting that jacket will do.
Yeah, the components themselves at this temperature, at this heat setting, get to 55 degrees C.
Yeah, it won't go above 55 degrees then.
No, it doesn't go above. If either your body temperature raises so much it makes it go a bit warmer on the inside of the jacket, the heated panels will cut out as a safety feature.
Okay.
So you toggle through, go to the next temperature setting, the middle one, and this is 45 degrees. And then the blue setting, it's the lowest temperature setting, this is 38 degrees C. Press it again to go back to the highest, and then if you hold it down, it turns it off. So are those 3 different temperature settings, you get roughly 2 hours on high, about 4.5 hours on medium, or 4 hours on medium, and 6.5 on low.
So it lasts a long time then, won't it?
It does last a long time.
Activity you're going to do.
So even on the top setting, it'll last you for an entire football match.
Yeah.
So they're the main features of that jacket as a quick overview.
Yeah. So we've got 2 new additions, haven't we, this year?
We have indeed. So to give a more price pointed option, we've now got the Volta Protect. So this is also waterproof. It's a hydrophore fabric.
Which is our waterproof, non-breathable.
Non-breathable. It's also got the tape seams. And to allow us to bring the price point down, to help us to do this, we've made a few tweaks to the heat panel. So instead of having 3, we've got 1, but it's a bigger panel across the back. So you get
so you don't get 3 heat panels in this one, it's just 1 larger heat panel.
Just the 1 larger heat panel across the back. So it's really effective across the back, feels really warm. And to power this, just borrow the battery from the other jacket again.
So the same battery?
Same battery, yeah. You just plug it in, and then that's your jacket turned on.
So there's no button for this one?
No button. It's really nice, straightforward, easy to use, more simple than the other one. It just comes on straight away when you plug the battery in, and then if you unplug the battery, it turns off again.
So the on and off is literally the battery, whether it's running or plugged in?
Exactly.
Yeah. So what heat setting will this go up to? Is this?
So this comes straight on at the high temperature,
so the 55.
55 degrees C, and again will last about 2 hours at this temperature.
And the third option that we've got coming in.
So the third option is for people who don't necessarily want a waterproof jacket and like the softness and the comfort of just a normal baffle jacket. We've got the Volta loft, which has the warm loft fill, so that's our synthetic, really soft
Premium
synthetic insulation. It's got the grown-on hood, and it's a nice.
So this jacket will keep you warm in its own right just through insulation alone, won't it? Because it's our premium synthetic.
Exactly, it's
insulation.
really warm by itself, and it's really soft with it being warm loft, and a great everyday wear. It's got the urban branding on as well with the zip pulls and the sleeve badge, and this heats up in a similar way to the previous one. So instead of having the 3 panels, it's got the one larger panel in the back, and when you plug the battery in, it just turns it on.
So it works exactly the same way as the other option.
Yeah.
Yeah, but obviously this is just an insulator, but it's not a waterproof.
Yeah, correct.
So the insulation in this one is different to the insulation in your Volta Shield.
Yeah, in the Volta Shield, typically in our waterproof insulated jacket, so the Volta Shield and the Volta Protect, we use thermoguard insulation. Because these jackets have a membrane or a coating to make them waterproof, you don't get the full benefit of having a super soft insulation like you do in the softer face fabric of the Volta Loft. So in which case there's no point putting the warm loft fill in those jackets, and we typically put the thermoguard fill, and the main focus and selling point about the jacket is it being waterproof and breathable.
Okay. Yeah.
Good.
So now we're going to talk about the battery, which is a key part to the product. So Matt, what type of battery would you want to use with this type of jacket?
So this is a USB power bank, and typically you'll have come across these when you go on holiday or a car journey or something like that, and you want to charge your phone up.
They were massive when Pokemon Go was a thing.
Were they?
Yeah, you plug it into your phone.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, didn't know that one. But, so it's just got the USB ports on the power bank, and these are readily available all over the place. But we recommend using this battery that we've sourced. It's by a reputable brand called GP Batteries. The reason we wanted to go with the reputable brand is because people are quite sort of unsure about plugging batteries in stuff, especially lithium ones, and doing something that we've never done before, a heated jacket where we're combining electronics with apparel. We just wanted to instill a lot of confidence into the consumer that we're getting something totally safe. So with this battery, you can sort of rest assured that a large amount of testing has been done both by the supplier and additional testing by us to make sure they are perfectly safe. So in our eyes, this is the optimum balance of battery safety. Well, safety is paramount, so this is the safest battery you're going to probably find. But then in terms of size of battery as well, because obviously the bigger battery you've got, the longer it's going to last, but you don't want a massive car battery size thing in your pocket. So we've got the optimum balance between battery size and performance as well, so you can see it's a nice slim battery. So this is great. It's got the 2 ports on it, so you can use it for other things when you're not using it in your jacket. It's great to charge your phone up, as previously mentioned.
We recommend this brand of battery. Obviously, this is what it's been made for, and this is where it's going to go. If people have other battery packs, will they also work?
Well, they should work, because most batteries these days have a good power output, and what you're looking for is the little bit of text on the back where it says input and output, and the 2.1A is the on this battery is the number you need to be looking for. So to deliver enough power to the jacket,
to work optimally, it needs a 2.1 output.
2.1A output.
Yeah.
most phones these days, people are used to fast charge phones and they want the phone to charge up as fast as possible. In the olden days, battery packs, power banks used to be about 1A, which charge your phone relatively slowly compared with what they charge, the speeds that they charge at now. So most of them are, because there's more demand for fast charge, minimum of 2.1A, but that's the number you're looking out for on the back of the text on the battery.
Cool.
Sorry to throw this question at you, but you've got two sockets coming out of there.
Mm-hmm.
One you can charge your phone with, while the other one's your coat's plugged into to heat your jacket. Is it the same output out of both those sockets? And basically, does that mean that if you're charging a phone, the battery life for your jacket is 50% of what it is?
That's a good question.
And by the way, that's Rick, the man behind the cam. It wasn't a higher power.
It's a very good question. So you've got two USB ports. So you think, right, I can power my jacket and I can charge my phone. But that 2.1 amps is the overall power output. So if you plug two things into it, it splits that 2.1 amps. Now, typically speaking, if it says it's 2.1 amps, then it's going to be slightly higher than that. So if your phone's not mega demanding on power, you could potentially do your jacket and your phone at the same time, but there might not be enough power to actually do that. So if you're just running your jacket on the battery, you should just use one of the ports. If you do use a port at a different time for charging your phone, then obviously it's going to take the battery power down, and your jacket won't last as long on the.
So you can use it to charge both up, but just bear in mind that over time, obviously, the battery will run out of juice, so then you won't be able to power your jacket for as long if you've been using it to charge a phone.
Yeah, you can use it for both, but not at the same time.
Yeah.
Unless your phone isn't that demanding. But
right.
I'd recommend trying it out. Just plug it into your jacket, plug it into your phone. If it charges your phone and your jacket's still working, that's fine, ideal. But if not, unplug your phone, your jacket will carry on working. But if you do use it for your phone at any point, then it's going to reduce the amount of time that your jacket will last for.
Right, cool. So now we're just going to talk about washing and aftercare of the jackets and products. Obviously, we'll go through this in another video with all the garments that we do, but there is slightly different specifications on these jackets due to it being an electric heated garment. So there are differences, aren't there?
Yeah.
So Matt, what is the best way to look after all three of these products in terms of aftercare?
So washing instructions are the same across them all. You can still machine wash these jackets. If you notice, when you plug in your battery to the USB cable, there's this little rubber cover. So once you've disconnected your battery, you have to put that on again before you put it in the washing machine. That stops any water getting on the metal component.
So that isn't something you want to rip off and throw away. You want to keep
it's
there for a reason.
Might seem a little annoying having this dangly bit of rubber tab, but just keep it there. That's for your washing.
Yeah.
So when
if you lose that, by the way, are you then going to have to try and cover it in some other way?
It's best to, but our contact centre, I've given them a bag full of them, and I've still got some in my desk. So if people need them, we've got a few spares until they run out, but we could always ask for some more as well.
Yeah, good.
So once you've covered the USB, you just put it in your washing machine as normal, but you wash it at 30 degrees on a delicate wash. Then when you get it out, it can't be tumble dried. You can't wring it, because obviously you don't want to wring the components inside the jacket, risk pulling bits apart. So you just hang it over something and dry it, not in a tumble dryer, without wringing it.
Right, so you've got to let it air dry.
Yeah.
And in a straight line, basically. Yeah. If you do, obviously you don't want the battery in there either, do you? You don't want to wash.
No, obviously disconnect your battery before you put it in the washing machine. And if you're wearing your jacket and it gets wet, we advise to disconnect the battery as well. Obviously, 2 of the 3 jackets here are waterproof, so if the outer is getting a little bit wet, it will bead off and it won't get through the membrane, so the internal components will be fine. Same with the Volta loft. If it's a light shower, this has got a DWR coating, so the water will bead off. So in a light shower, as long as the components aren't wet, it should be fine to wear the jacket. But if it gets properly wet, we advise to disconnect the battery.
Right. So obviously don't wash it with the battery involved. DWRing, how do you DWR the jacket? The same as every other garment?
Yeah, I'd recommend a spray DWR because that activates straight away when you spray it on. But the washing DWR, you have to tumble dry to activate it. But these jackets shouldn't be tumble dried.
So can you iron these jackets?
No, it says on the wash care label, do not iron. Everything we've been talking about actually is covered in either in the wash care label or the instruction manual that comes with the jacket. So check that out when you get those in store, because it's really useful and interesting to read through that.
Can you just show people where the care label is on the jacket so they know what they're looking for?
Okay, this is a sample, so your
shop ready one won't have that in it. It'll just have that, won't it?
Yeah, it'll be a different type of label, but this is where it is in the jacket.
Yeah, and it'll say in it as well, just here, do not iron.
Well, I don't know if there's anything in the instructions about ironing, to be honest, because a lot of people don't iron jackets typically. So I can't answer that one, I'm afraid, but check out the information booklet that comes with the jacket, because all wash care instructions are covered in that.
Yeah, to be fair, everything that we're talking about today is mentioned in the instructions booklet. It's not like we're going to be selling you a jacket and they're not going to know any of the instructions. All these instructions do come with it, and it is worth reading that manual.
Or check on the care label.
Or check the care label. But yeah, for aftercare on this jacket or washing this jacket, 30-degree delicate wash. Don't scrumple it, don't put it in a tumble dryer, leave it to hang and air dry. If you want a DWR, put on a spray afterwards.
Correct.
Yeah. Thank you. So to finish off the video, I've been sent some questions to ask Matt while I've got his attention. He ignores me often. So we're just going to go through some questions and then see if Matt can answer. Hopefully he can, because he's the product manager. Will it burn?
No, because it's got safety cutouts built into the jacket. So once it reaches a certain temperature, it'll maintain at that temperature level. But if for whatever reason it exceeds that, it'll cut out straight away.
Okay, so it will never go over which is our highest, which is what we said earlier, which is 55 degrees. It'll never go above that.
Yeah.
So that's good to know. Question number 2, can it get wet? You might have mentioned earlier on in the video that question actually.
Yeah, so when you say can it get wet, you mean don't go in the shower with it?
Yeah,
or
can you go swimming in it?
No.
No.
Don't jump in the pond with it. No, we recommend that if the jacket gets wet, to disconnect the battery if you're using it, and when you're storing it as well, if you're storing it wet, also disconnect the battery then as well.
Yeah.
So when you say wet, you don't mean wet on the outside, you mean wet on the inside in this case, don't you?
Yeah, slight beads on the outside of your waterproof jacket will be fine because it's a waterproof product, but if it's soaked through the non-waterproof product, that so water will get through to the components, yeah, disconnect your battery straight away.
Yeah, so just for any confusion, yes, these two are waterproof products, and yes, we do recommend that you can use these in the rain and stuff like that. If it's been DWR'd, usually they're light shower proof, aren't they? So any light shower will naturally bead off this, but eventually, if you're an outdoor enthusiast or you've had a jacket a long time, these jackets will go wet through, is what we mean.
When you say these jackets, just this one, the Volta loft.
Yeah.
These have still got the coating of the membrane, so they won't. The water won't get through those.
Yeah, so really the main issue with these would be it's wet on the inside of the jacket.
Yeah, which can still happen, I guess, because jackets have holes in at the top, the bottom, and the sleeves.
Yeah.
So if it's really raining hard, water still gets in places, and if the components get wet on the inside, yeah, then disconnect your battery definitely.
Great. Question number 3. One of the questions is, can you go through an airport in it?
That's a very good question. The supplier of the components, the heating components, say that you can. Obviously, when you go through airport security, you have to take your coats off anyway, so it'd go through on the tray. So it may get picked up going through the machine, but there's nothing dangerous about it. So I've been assured that you can take it through the airport. I've not actually tried it myself though.
What do you recommend about pacemakers? Someone's asked a question, I'm guessing they have a pacemaker. What would you recommend on that? scenario?
This is also listed in the instructions on the jacket, but we recommend not to use it with a pacemaker or any other electrical medical devices unless you've consulted your doctor first.
Okay, that's perfect. And is this tested in terms of safety tested? So we'll just talk about, obviously we know with us being Regatta, all our waterproof membranes and jackets and garments go through testing. But this is just about the electric testing.
Yeah, definitely. The consumer safety is paramount. So we've already talked about the safety tests on the battery, but we've also independently tested the jacket and the components individually and together. And the test we've used for that, well, amongst others, but the main one is EN 60335, which is electrical safety testing. And it's obviously past that, or else we wouldn't be selling it. So it's a very, very safe product.
So I hope that answers everything that you need to know on our heated jackets. And it's bye from me.
And bye from me. Cheers.
Thank you.